Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. It's the time. Get ready. You're going to love this. It's Goldbridge reacting to his Premier League predictions from 9 months ago at the start of the season. And if you want a little bit of a reminder, here you go. It's my Premier League predictions. He's here again. The man with the tears in his eyes. That's in May when I react to this, to be fair. It's almost like I know it's not going to go well. Although, look, we'll have to wait and see. I'm listening to these back myself. I think I know what I did. But let's start off with Premier League winners. Who did I predict was going to win the Premier League this season? I think I did get this right, but let's go. So it's difficult to go between Liverpool and Man City. I'm just going to go with Man City. But just by the skin of my teeth. Just by the skin. I was thinking about going with Liverpool. Look, I'm glad I said Man City and I'm glad I got that right for what it means. I mean, I'd rather they didn't win the bloody Premier League, but I did predict it. Yeah, I mean, it just shows you Liverpool, doesn't it? At the start of the season. That's why I love doing this video, because you look an idiot in May, but in August, you've got nothing to go on other than the previous season and a bit of transfer activity. So, yeah, I think Liverpool have been a massive letdown. And look, Liverpool, 5th place, nowhere near 4th place, to be honest, and they've massively disappointed. But I got it right with Man City. Yeah, and I definitely didn't predict Arsenal. Did I put Arsenal in, or Manchester United for that reason, into top 4? It could be Liverpool. So therefore I'll go Man City first, Liverpool second. I was very close to switching that around. 3rd place, I'm going to go with... Look, I think top 4 is really interesting this year. I think Spurs have to be in there because they were in there last year and they've strengthened. And they've got Conte, who I think is one of the best managers in the world. I think Chelsea have to be in there. It's not acceptable for Chelsea not to be in there. All right, their transfer window's not over yet, but I still think Koulibaly and Sterling are good signings and they will bring others in. Koulibaly and Sterling are good signings? Spurs and Chelsea have to be in there? Ugh. Oh, God. What was I thinking? Why was I thinking that? What was I thinking? I mean, I suppose going from the previous season, Spurs did get top 4 and Chelsea did. I went safe. Come on, I went safe. Yeah, no. I mean, look, to be honest, Spurs, up until they sacked Conte, as much as it sounds stupid now, Spurs, when Conte left, we're in a top 4 race. It's only since he's got, since he's left, they've gone really, really bad. But I do think Conte was a good manager. I just think Spurs massively unachieved. As for Chelsea, How Not to Run a Football Club by Todd Bowley. It's all right to laugh at, the Lampard, the Potter, the Tuchel. It's just been putting Chelsea in the top 4 now just feels idiotic. But really, it just shows you again, like Liverpool, but at a much worse level, why Chelsea have had such a bad season. But there is a saving grace here. I did pick that Man City would win the title. Most probably picked that. But listen to this, what I said back at the start of the season. Considering nobody fancied Arsenal, listen to this. But I do think Arsenal have got a right to... they're not... I felt last year my top 4 was nailed on and I got it wrong. I put United in there. I don't think it's nailed on this year. I think there are vulnerabilities with Chelsea. And I think Spurs, you never know. So there is an opportunity for Arsenal there. Yes, that's more like it. Arsenal, seeing the Arsenal curve, being ahead of the curve with Arsenal, saying they've got a right to be in there. Watch out for Arsenal, and also say Chelsea and Spurs could have some vulnerabilities. Damn right, they've got vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities like a bloody rabbit being thrown into a lion's den. That's how vulnerable Chelsea and Spurs have been this year. But I was ahead of the game with Arsenal there. I've always been a little bit ahead. Arteta out. I've always said that I can see what Arteta is doing and what Arsenal are doing. And whilst I'd never have said that they'd be in a title race, and I still do think that now the season's over, Arsenal fans should go easy on what they've done. The season's over now. You can start building for next year. And I think what Arsenal have achieved this year has been remarkably incredible. I've said that many times. I get the disappointment. But ultimately... Arsenal massively overachieved, and that is reflected when you watch back. At the start of the season, there's only 2 times that matter, really. The start of the season, when you set your expectations, and the end of the season, when you see where you were. And look, Liverpool, I said, and I think many people thought would challenge for the title. They didn't. Chelsea and Spurs fell away. Arsenal challenged for their title this year, and they went really close for a long time. And it's disappointing for them that they didn't win it, but they must look at the journey over 9 months. And Man City were most people's predictions to win this title, them or Liverpool, not Arsenal. So Arsenal have over-exceeded. And yeah, I'm glad that I did at least mention that. I was a bit worried, really, but I'm glad that I did mention it. I also did predict, and I famously have got this wrong in the past, but I did predict a couple of teams to keep an eye on. But my two teams to watch this year that I think could have good seasons, and I've been wrong on this, I've said Everton and Leicester in the past, so it could be a bit of a jinx. I'm going to go Arsenal and Villa. Arsenal or Villa. I think Arsenal or Villa could have a really good season this year. Wind your body, wiggle your belly, I do a boom shakalak. I'll tell you what, I'll take that as a win. Watch out for Arsenal and Aston Villa this season. They could have good seasons. I did say or at one point, but I think we'll say both. How I predicted Villa were going to have a good season, because at that point Gerrard was in charge, so that's probably a point off. But I don't know what I was thinking 9 months ago. Maybe I don't actually think Gerrard's that good. So maybe I was anticipating Gerrard would get the sack and they'd bring another manager in and do well. That could also be nonsense. But I'm glad that I'm glad that I threw Arsenal in there as a team to watch, because I think that's very profound. And I think that's ultimately been spot on. To highlight Arsenal as a team to watch at the start of the season would have been a very brave thing to do, because as I just said, they weren't seen as a credible threat even for top four. So to highlight them and say watch out for them this year, I'm pretty pleased with that. I think I'll have to do well to top that. That was pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with that. Thank you very much. Well done, Mark. Right, I think the next one we did is who is going to win the Golden Boot, and I reckon I know I got this right. But I'm going to go with Erling Haaland to win the Golden Boot. Now, I know he's just missed that game, that sitter at the Community Shield, but he's going to get so many chances in a Man City shirt. Yes, easy. I can't believe people thought that Erling Haaland might flop. There wasn't many, but there was a few. I mean, look, yeah, Erling Haaland. I think my alternative was Darwin Núñez, and I'm glad I didn't go with that. Who I don't think has had as bad a season. I think he's just had a very challenging season. And I would say watch out for Darwin Núñez over the next couple of years, because if Liverpool stabilise, I think he'll be a good player. But no, I'm very, very pleased with that. I'm very, very pleased with that. Erling Haaland, Golden Boot winner, because I just knew he would score goals for Man City. Yeah. This is where it's going to get very wrong. I know my answer to this, and I have to share it with you now. My three teams to get relegated. Let's do it. I would predict from the Championship that Watford, Burnley and Norwich will come back up because of the parachute payments. And I think that Bournemouth, Fulham and Forest will go down. Yeah. I mean, look, in my defence, I probably wasn't the only one that predicted that three newly promoted teams would head back down. I'm glad I mentioned who'd get promoted, because at least I got Burnley. But 1 out of 6 is terrible. Yeah, I was miles off with relegation. And to be honest with you, Southampton, I heard a few people say Southampton. I think that was viable at the start of the season. And lo and behold, it would have been a good prediction. Leeds and Leicester, I don't think I would have thrown them in. Maybe Leeds, not Leicester. So I think it was tough to predict relegation. And it went to the final day, and it could have been Everton. So I never would have predicted that. But I think that just goes down to say what a sensational season it's been, especially for Fulham. They're an adjusted Premier League side who can go away to decent teams and hold their own. They've been brilliant. Bournemouth, Gary O'Neill's done great to keep them up. And Forest, I think Cooper's had a really tough job being thrown in a load of players and to keep them up. Yeah, look, all three clubs have deserved it, and I can't deny that. And ultimately, over a 38-game season, you get what you deserve. And the teams that went down were the three worst teams. I was glad Everton stayed up. Sean Dyche, they've struggled to score goals, Everton, and they've stayed up because of a wonder goal by Doucouré. It just shows you, they need to win at Goodison, and it's a wonder goal that keeps them up 1-0. They don't score enough goals, Everton, but I think Leicester have been dreadful this year. Leeds, badly run as well. 3 badly run clubs. I think that's the standout for me of this season, how badly clubs have been run, and the clubs that have been run the worst have also gone down. So there we go. What was my prediction for the FA Cup? I don't expect Liverpool not to win something, so I'll put Liverpool for the FA Cup. Yeah, I'd like to repeat those words. I can't see Liverpool not winning anything this season. Well, hello, May 2023, and here is Liverpool without anything. And that ball behind me, that Europa League ball, they can have that. You can have that if you want it, because that's where you're playing. Yeah, Liverpool's season, whether it's funny or not, and it is funny as a United fan, but it is surprising. I think Liverpool have surprised a lot of people. I mean, there's always going to be a drop-off after Liverpool nearly were fighting for a quadruple at one point, weren't they? But They got to the Champions League final and lost last year. They took it to the final day with Man City and didn't win the league, but they did win the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. So, yeah, it was surprising that Liverpool didn't win anything this year, but they didn't. The FA Cup, we don't know who's going to win that yet, but I didn't predict it right anyway. Let's see what I said about the Carabao Cup. Carabao Cup, I think it will be Pep again. I think he likes the Carabao Cup. He's not won it for a year or two, so I fancy Man City to win that. Yeah, and I've got to be honest, I did want to say that towards the end. I completely and utterly haven't ignored the fact that my club didn't get any love from me at the start of the season, and I'm pretty pleased about that. I mean, I predicted Man City would win the Carabao Cup. Manchester United won it, our first trophy in a few years. And much the same as Arsenal, I think this is a positive. There were some United fans that predicted we'd win a trophy or we'd get top four, and they wanted to be extremely positive. I wanted to be extremely realistic with Manchester United at the start of the season, and I think taking on the worst ever Premier League Man United side, points total wise, and they were dreadful. And I know Ten Hag was given money, but it's only 5 players, one of which is a development player in Malacia. I think what he's done this year, 75 points, is brilliant. 2 cup finals. He's basically took Liverpool's spot, hasn't he, this year? And Liverpool, we haven't took it from them. Liverpool didn't deserve it, and we did. So I didn't predict Man United would be top 4. I think I put United down as 5th or 6th, and I didn't predict we'd win a trophy. And I thought that was probably going to be quite realistic in season 1, where there was a lot of a rebuild. So he's done brilliant. I think the 2 standout teams this year have actually been Arsenal and Manchester United in different ways. They've defied what the expectations were and done really well. But that's my Premier League prediction. Smash a like on the video. I'm sad. I always look forward to doing it all year, and then it's over so quick. It's like Christmas or something else. But no, make sure you smash a like and subscribe and get your comments in below. I'd be very interested to read what you did. But that was my Premier League predictions. I predicted the winner of the league. I predicted the winner of the Golden Boot. I predicted that Arsenal would be the breakthrough team. So I got 3 that were quite good. I'll take that. Speak to you later.